Hello, and we're back with DreadBall Academy. I'm joined by Curious. Curious, welcome aboard.
Afternoon.
He has stepped into the mighty shoes of the James M. Hewitt, and we are now going to explore Season 4.
Yes, this is our 4th season. It comes on the heels of DreadBall Ultimate. You might have thought Ultimate was the end, but no. Season 4 is a continuation. It just keeps going.
And it's going to continue going because it turns out that Ultimate wasn't even the penultimate.
No.
So, right. What is in Season 4? Can you take us through the basics of it?
Well, Season 4 follows the established season format we've had for the other 3 seasons. We've got a whole slew of new teams.
Yeah.
This one's actually slightly big. We've slipped a 5th team in here.
But this is a 5-team release, this one.
5-team release, yeah. We've got 5 new teams in there. Again, we've got a whole host of MVPs to just sort of, jazz up your league games, and we've got something for everybody. Even if you don't like those new teams, don't want to play them, even if you don't want to sample new MVPs, we've got fans, and we've got a new achievement system. We've got quite a lot there.
Fantastic. Well, look, where will we start? Will we start by talking about the teams, or...?
Yes, we'll have a quick overview of the teams. We've introduced, I think, 8 new races, not into just DreadBall, but the whole Warpath universe with this release. We've had a lot of fun when we sat down and talking about Season 4, thinking about what sort of weird aliens we can get in there, what things which are sort of like, signature Warpath races of the future, and what things we just wanted to see. We're going to trial and error them. We've got these, the Hobgoblin team here. We've got the sort of, stinky little Hobgoblins. Nice, they're very different to Orcs and Goblins. You might think that, 2 awkward races in the same game won't work, but with Jake has managed to pull off a sort of a different play style, a different team. They're not Orcs and Goblins, they're something different, they're something more fun and exciting. And I would like to sort of mix them together a bit in the future as well and just have like a whole greenskin race. We got the Sphere, these are the sort of like the lovely fish people with their kind of very sleek,
Shark
dynamic.
Man.
Yeah, we slipped 1 or 2 of them into Dead Zone, and fan response was amazing. So we've bulked them out to a whole team now.
Yeah,
and they're great. We've got the brand new Rebs team. It's sort of like the cantina scene out of Star Wars.
Yeah,
yeah. We just no 2 players are the same. We've got sort of like all these new alien races, Frogmen. We've got the Jalians. It's very exciting. New kind of entirely different body types.
A complete mix.
Yeah, Greedo little aliens and centaurs and just all of the things. We're just thinking, this guy here, just like a centaur. Would a centaur work in DreadBall? We don't know. We just put it in there just to see, will it work? And we're
going to find out if it works. Who else have we got?
We've got the Mars Attacks people. We did the Mars Attacks game, and then when we were doing the Mars Attacks Kickstarter, we sort of like had a little bit of sort of crossover with the IPs, and so we stuck them in just as an extra bonus.
So Mars Attacks team in DreadBall, fantastic.
Mars Attacks DreadBall. Well, we were going through the comics at the time, and they had Mars Attacks the Transformers. That's my personal favourite. Mars Attacks Kiss, Mars Attacks Popeye, and we're thinking, well, we're doing the Mars Attacks. Why can't they'll cross over with us? And so we've got a whole team of them in DreadBall now, which is great. And
so that's 4, I believe. And then who are the 5th?
The 5th team, we've gone back and we've done Space Dwarves, a different flavour of Space Dwarves this time. We've got the Brockers. They're just a sort of like a different cast of Forge Father Society, a different play style, and they go back and they sort of revisit the whole archetype of the dwarf, the future space mining warrior that is on the kind of like Neo-Durian pictures of the far future.
Now, I know we're going to have a look at a couple of the special rules for some of these teams. Remember, we have the extra long backstage, the XLBS version of this show, where we're going to be doing a kind of a battle report of the end game, where we're going to be playing 2 teams to try and get a feel for their rules.
Yeah,
what 2 teams is that?
We'll be going through that with the Sphere, the Fishmen, and we'll be going that with the Hobgoblins as well. But we'll also be showing off how the fans, which is something that everybody can use, even if you just want to play with your Season 1, 2, and 3 teams, everyone can use the fans, and we'll be focusing on how those mechanics alter the game and impact your tactics.
But right now, we're going to look at a couple of the signature moves for a couple of these teams to try and get a feel for what they do. So I think we're going to start with the Martians.
Yes, I've fallen in love with this team, really. They're sort of moulded in the Mars Attacks little red plastic.
Yeah.
And they look great out of the box. And so that sort of, as a hobbyist, I just think, I don't actually have to paint these ones. It's quite fun. But these have got a new mechanic. Because they're sneaky, they're cowardly, they're incredibly violent, and they've got little respect for the rules. They've got the ability to smuggle guns onto the pitch. So if you take a look at this player here, and
just see him there, he's actually got a gun just behind his back there. So
this player here, this is highly illegal, of course. This
Yeah.
isn't allowed by the DGB regulations.
So let me just cover what we've got in here. We have a referee over here. Just
We've got Blaine there as our ref.
We have the three fishmen,
Yep.
which is the sphere. We have a striker for the Martians. And what's he? Is he a jack? This
Yep,
guy?
he's a jack, this guy. And so what's happened here, this is a play example where we imagine that Warren, as a DreadBall genius, has sort of blocked off all 3 of the bonus hexes with his 3 players. And I'm in a position where I'm like, I just can't reach them. I just can't run up to them in time with my players.
Yep.
But I've smuggled a gun onto the pitch. And so I'm just going to shoot this guy in the back of the head so that my striker here can run up with the ball. So this...
You're just going to shoot him?
I'm going to shoot him in the head.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So what I'm going to do is, if you've... Since season 1, we've had mechanics for throwing the ball at other players, which is a sort of like a really dastardly mechanic, especially if you can't catch the ball or you got your back turned to the ball, suddenly having this sort of sudden massive... It's a very good way of killing people, actually. Like there's a number 88 from season 1 was one of the most sort of like frustrating players to play against. He was amazing at everything, and the only way people could find of reliably taking him out the game was firing the ball at the back of his head. but even better than firing the ball at the back of someone's head, I've got a laser gun, a disintegration pistol or something, and I'm just going to try and shoot this guy in the back. So
okay, so he snuck the gun on the pitch.
Yeah, so this is
just going to go.
Yeah,
how does it work then?
Well, this is one of this is the only ranged attack we've got in DreadBall so far, other than throwing the ball, until we get to season 5. Actually, I think we've got another one in there. But this guy can pick at people up to 9 hexes away, and so he's going to try and shoot your little guard there.
So he's got a fair old range in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's quite a long range wee weapon. That
So I'm going to shoot you here, just like throwing the ball. I'm going to start off at this range of 1 to 3 hexes with 3 dice.
So you open with 3 dice.
Yep. And then it's an opposed check, and I'm going to add 2 extra dice because that's what my rule does. Illegal.
Right.
A laser gun is that powerful, so it's even more powerful than throwing the ball.
So I defend that with 3 dice.
Yep,
Do I
you're
lose
dodging.
any dice because you're behind me or anything? No,
you're just dodging there with 3 dice.
Okay.
You see, but because I'm picking on your guard, you don't get your guard bonus, you don't get to slam back, you just get to sort of dodge out the way.
Oh yeah, there's nothing. All I'll be able to do, even if I survive this, is just turn around.
Yeah.
So my defense is on 3s.
You're on 4s here.
I'm on 4s, yeah.
I'm on 4s. Here we go. 1, 2. 2 successes.
And I have 3 successes, and remember, 6s explode. So I had 4 successes.
It's not worked in this case.
So it's not worked. In this case, I would just turn around. But let's imagine, because 5 versus 3, let's imagine you picked out 4.
Yeah, let's try that again.
4 to 1. So, okay, nothing.
1, 2, 3 successes. There we go.
Okay.
So instantly you get knocked back, and then even if I don't injure you, you're knocked over, and you've got to take an armor check. But most importantly there, my guy gets to run up with the ball, and this guy can sort of, spend
you've
another
cleared
action.
this space.
Yeah.
So the weapon automatically knocks him back, and does it automatically knock him down, or was it because
That's because I got the double there.
That's because you doubled the score on it. And that only cost 1 action.
Yep. So I can sort of.
So he could do that 3 times.
Yep. Well,
He could do it twice with your page actions.
Yep.
And then if you happen to have a free action card, he could do that. So he could just sit and go ping, ping, ping. Now, that's a foul, isn't it? So if you've watched, and I'm hoping that after watching this, you'll go back and watch the rest of the DreadBall Academy series to get bang up to speed on how DreadBall is played. But there's a fantastic mechanic in DreadBall called fouling, okay? Which means that if your opponent commits a foul, you have to call a foul.
Yes.
That's very important. If you don't call foul, he'll get away with it. And he'll continue to get away with it until you do call foul. But if the turn passes on, you can't call foul for something
No, you can't.
previous.
Yeah, I had a great battle report in Ravage magazine. I was playing James. May his soul rest in peace. Where he said in turn 1, he's like, I can't believe you're not fouling yet. In turn 2, he was like, you're still not fouling. And then in turn 3, he realised the entire game I'd been fouling the entire time.
By playing an extra character,
Yeah.
you can sneak them on. And if you get it on and your opponent doesn't realise, that's how the game's played.
Cheating is part of the mechanics.
Now, we have the referee.
Our little Blaine ref there.
What's his range?
So he can spot fouls which happen within 7 hexes.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
If it's just too far away. But there is an eye in the sky ref as well, yeah.
So, and then the eye in the sky can spot fouls all over the place.
Yes.
So I call foul.
Yep.
And then we roll a dice for each referee that can spot the foul. So in this instance, I'll just use the white dice.
Yeah.
In this instance, the eye in the sky can spot it.
Yep.
If he had been closer, he would have spotted it as well, and I get to roll two dice.
And we can affect this with our event cards as well. So I'm always going to try and do this when an event's in play with an inattentive ref.
Yeah.
Or if the ref's far away, I'm going to sort of, subtly manipulate him so he's far away. But it doesn't really matter because I get to shoot you and then the foul is resolved. And so it doesn't really matter.
Well, in this instance, only the eye in the sky saw it. Basically, on a 1, 2, 3, he will be out for 1, 2, or 3 turns. On a 4, 5, 6, he gets away with it.
Yep.
So
there we go.
4, he got away with it. Let's imagine that they both saw him. He got away with it again.
You see.
So he could have been out for a maximum of 6 turns, which would have been him out of the game, basically. But he also is a 50-50 chance of of having no punishment whatsoever.
Yep.
Per dice, anyway.
It's risky, but the ball carrying fouls tend to be the most risky ones. Where sometimes you might bring a striker on to pick up the ball, and he's your 7th player. And when you've got sort of a fouling player who is in possession of the ball, you get sent off. It's really sort of dangerous to do, but in this case, it's still risky, but not quite as bad for the game.
Okay,
so let me show you another example then.
Absolutely.
Of what's a signature thing that happens in Season 4. We've got this Rebs team, and this isn't just, like your Sphere team was a fishman, a fishman, a fishman, a fishman, a heavily armoured fishman. This Rebs team, we've got a man with hands for feet. That's our Sauric. We've got the Frogman. He's a slippery customer, like catching him is like a grease eel. We've got the Rin Nomad here. He's got 4 sets of arms. He sort of like gets to punch you, and then he misses, he punches you all over again.
So a Jack, a striker, and a guard.
But we've also got, now this is perhaps one of the going to be the most important pieces in Season 4 is the Jalian.
The Jalian. This guy's a centaur, isn't he?
Yeah. Lovely model to start off with. So
and arguably one of the best players in the game.
Yeah. I think this is going to sort of be one of the sort of star players that when we're getting into Extreme and you can like make your own team, or we do exhibition matches in Season 5, people are going to start choosing this guy because he's incredibly versatile. He's not the best guy at slamming. He's not the most reliable. He's not the fastest. But he can do everything to a very high degree of competency. And he can do everything because he's a Jack. Right.
So he is a Jack. So he can do the basic stuff that guards do. He can do the basic stuff that strikers do. And he's pretty competent at all of it then,
yes? Well, let's go through his stats just quickly here. So, because Jacks are classically underpowered at the moment, sort of like, we've got people are saying, Jacks aren't, too great, because strikers are amazing at scoring, guards are amazing at slamming. Jack who can do a bit of both. He's not amazing at either, and a lot of people tend to focus, they get sort of drawn towards the sort of more extreme examples, but this guy's got he's got a very high move to start off with. He's got a move of 7, so he's got a massive threat range.
Right.
And that would be a problem for a guard. So like your Hobgoblin guard here, this is a massive guy. He's an amazing slammer. And because he's a guard, the guard can run and do his a run action, dash if he wants at the end, and then slam. But the Jack, because he can do both the sort of the slamming of the guard and the striking of a striker, he can only move ever 1 hex before he pulls something like this off. So a Jack has a much smaller threat radius than this guy. But this guy's got an ability called Charge, which means he can make a full move and then slam. Yeah.
Right.
So that gives him
So he's a Jack with the benefits of a guard.
Yes. And he also gets not just a +1 bonus when he runs up to you, he gets a +2 bonus. So this guy is an absolute powerhouse, massive threat range. As effective as pretty effective as a guard in his own right, but then...
And succeeds on 4s, or...?
Let me just double check. Yeah, he's got strength of 4. Skill of 4.
And in terms of his striking abilities then?
Well, he's still a regular Jack, but the strikers are sort of always... The important thing about a striker is being able to run a long distance. It's being able to... you can get the ball, which guards can't do, and then he's got a move of 7, which, puts... the sphere to shame.
So he can do his full move of 7 and then do basically an attack, a slam. Or he could do a full move of 7 and then take a shot.
Wow.
Oh,
no, he can't do the full move of 7 and take a shot. He's only a Jack. It can only move the 1 and take a
Oh,
shot.
it can only move the 1 and take a shot.
But the movement to 7 means that if you put him on here from the, put him on from your subs bench, this guy is a sort of rapid response unit.
Yeah.
Max,
2,
put him
3,
on 14.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
That's his first action.
But if he was sprinting, though, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, he's straight there in a strike zone from the subs bench in 1 sprint action, even before he dashes.
And then the next turn, he could maybe take a shot.
Yeah, if he's got the ball. But, this is a very versatile player. But then the whole team sort of... has got sort of all the different power roles in as well. We've got even then you've got the dedicated striker he can start to sort of synergize with. We've got the other type of Jack who's a more reliable ball handler in the way that this guy's a very powerful.
He gets bonuses because of the hands and feet.
Yeah, he's got he's got what's called a safe pair of hands, which is probably the wrong term for it. So we've bracketed it off as safe pair of feet. Yeah. Well, they're just two of the teams that we're sort of in season 4 that we're quite looking forward to. But on top of that, we've got you may not want to play these teams, but one of the things I find I like about season 4 and about DreadBall in general actually is that you come to it, and I'm a painter, I'm a modeler to start off with. I love playing the game, and so I just got the Brockers off the bat. I've got 2 sets of them. I've painted them. I like the Grax model here. We've got is. Top heavy.
Now, which team is this?
Oh, he's one of our MVPs, that guy.
Oh, this is an MVP. Well, let's talk a little bit about the MVPs that have come out. These are all MVPs here,
Yes, these are the 5 MVPs we've got for this season.
Okay, so if you tell me a little bit about each of them, that would be great.
Well, we've got Ursula here, who's our sort of underwater squid woman. A lot of lovely paint job there by Dave Neal. Beautiful colours. She's sort of like horrible, slippery, sort of very evil, insidious, tentacled beast that sort of just, she's also an entirely different race as well. It's the first time we've seen this sort of kind of design of alien, And
what's her speciality then?
I don't know, actually, because I've not played with her. We're playing season 4 at the moment, which is coming out in February. And I can tell you all about the Brockers, I can tell you about the playstyles there, but the MVPs is something we tend to trot out in the league play, and we'll be trotting out more in season 5 exhibition.
Okay, and who's this guy?
This is Asylum. He is a insane criminal who's apparently reformed, but the tattoos on him are glorious. He's also sort of very nasty and very dirty. We've got our sort of horrible, insidious, ink-dripping monster. We've got, this convicted criminal covered in tattoos, and maybe this sort of maybe it's a flesh mask. Maybe it's like some sort of horrendous sort of ritual. He's grim. We've got Grax. He's covered in spikes. This is our ochre guy. He's just, he's fierce. He's got like ragtag plates. He just charge you down. We're going to skip over this guy. We've got this Lyra the assassin. She's Lyra the fixer. She's like a kind of assassin underworld person that sorts out
another new race as well. This one, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not sure if she's like a human or a sort of like a proto-human.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things we're getting into Warpath now. We're getting the idea that you can have regular humans, you can have advanced humans. Like the sphere could be like a genetically modified human. We've had all these different spheres of expansion in the history. You look back into it. And there was a time when the GCPS expanded out into the universe, and it decided that terraforming planets was quite an expensive process, and they experimented with instead changing humans instead.
So it was cheaper to change humans to suit the planet than to change the planet to suit the humans.
Yes, and so that gives you a load of sort of interesting ideas and background hooks and race hooks, and it went out of fashion. But we've got all these sort of previously human settlements that are still human, but may have sort of gone a different way and devolved slightly. So you've got a really blurry line between what is a human and what is an alien,
And this final character?
This is Galdo here, who's he's one of our Craw, which was the race we saw in Dead Zone.
Yeah.
But he lost a bet. He got him with the wrong people. He's in the dark underworld. They ripped off his wings. They tore out his throat and they poked out his eyes. And he's been horribly tortured. And these are all people that they're quite extreme.
Yeah.
They're dirty. They're gritty. And then at the end of it, we have this lovable green caterpillar.
We love this guy. Look at him.
Oh, Snorkel.
This is Snorkel,
This is Snorkel, the Avenger. He's that sort of lovable. He's like the Boris Johnson of DreadBall. Just wanders around.
I want an army of this guy.
Yeah, you see, you design the new alien races, and people go, "I want that as an army." And
Yeah, I want this one as an army. Yeah. So, what's his speciality, or what can you tell us a bit about him?
Well, he's got an ability called Klutz. He's rubbish, but the fans just sort of like he generates fan checks. People love him anyway. You put him on there just because he's like a bit of a mascot.
Yeah.
And the fans go wild for them, even though he messes everything up. But he's adorable. That.
He's fantastic.
It's just nice having that sort of like one little counterpoint of sweet cuteness and sort of naivety in a world full of grim, violent, dark underworldness. This is gritty, this is dirty, but snorkel.
Right, that's our MVPs. And then we have fans that have been introduced as well. So.
Yes, we've got. So
that's these guys here, yeah?
Yep. There's a set of rules in here for everyone. One of the things about Season 4 is we've done cheerleaders again.
Yep.
And we've done fans, and we've got achievements. And everybody has access to the cheerleader rules in the leagues. Everybody has access to the achievement rules in the leagues as well. But if you want to just play a pickup game of DreadBall, say you got the Season 1 box set, you can pick up the box of fans, and you can just roll them into your game straight away if you've got Season 4. It doesn't matter if you don't want to use new teams. These guys are great. And these change DreadBall in a sort of very subtle way. It's a new tactical challenge.
Yeah.
So they'll start off in the crowd. You've got a stadium full of, people are intoxicated. They've been fired up. They've just been eating their kind of like cyber nachos all day, and they're kind of like leering on their team, and they've been watching exhibition match after exhibition match, and they might kind of like, get start crowd surfing. They can like fall onto the pitch, or maybe you've got sort of one guy who's over enthusiastic and decides to sort of just
run on and meet his heroes.
Yeah, and so these guys invade the pitch during the game.
Yeah.
And they're sort of like a horrible set of moving obstacles that your players have either got to work with or against. Your players might run up and just sort of try and avoid them nimbly. Your players might sort of kind of like just smash them out of the way. I think Grax would do that. He'd just sort of, the guy would be coming over there and he'd just smash his head, and the fans would go wild for that, although a few of them would be... or you could even stop over and get an autograph signed by them, and we've got mechanics
for that. So there's rules for that, yeah?
Yeah, your team members can sort of, run up and sign an autograph, and then, the crowd love it, and...
Fantastic.
They're really fun.
Well, guys, there's a basic overview of Season 4. Over on bc4.com at the moment, myself and Curious are playing a battle report where we're having a look at two teams and the fans.
Yep. You can see those fans in action.
To showcase the mechanics and how it works, and to see if I can continue my unbeaten record of DreadBall awesomeness.
I think he edits. You edit. You must edit these. You take several, you're going to film it 3 times and choose the one where you win.
Why don't you hop across to bc4.com, become a backstager, and find out. So until next time, you have been watching DreadBall Academy.
I tend to do this other cool thing as well, where, because we're such a slow team, dwarves, you sort of tend to turtle up against the side. You have your ball carrier. Imagine these are dwarves. You got your ball carrier, and then you have your second player, sort of like, just making sure that the rear hexes are off limits, so you can only slam back.
Yeah.
But then I always sort of see if I can then use the referee just to sort of minimise the number of opposing threat hexes I can get on me. Good.